If an asteroid the size of a Toyota Prius hit Earth, it would release the same amount of energy as 300 tons of TNT, making a crater the size of a football field. Now look, in reality, most of these rocks would just get absolutely barbecued by our atmosphere before they even got close. But that's boring. So today, we're throwing physics out the window and ask, how big of an asteroid would it take to destroy Earth? Let's start really small. An asteroid the size of a grain of sand. In reality, it wouldn't even make it past the upper atmosphere before turning into space dust. But if it did get through, a 1 millimeter grain of sand hitting Earth at 40,000 miles per hour would release about as much energy as dropping a marble from a building. You'd get a tiny little divot in the ground, maybe the size of a pencil. There's not really much more to it. Let's move on to something bigger. What about a basketball-sized asteroid? Traveling at 40,000 miles per hour, you're looking at an explosion equivalent to about 1 ton of TNT. That's enough to flatten a house and absolutely ruin someone's day. You'd get a crater about 15 feet wide. Your neighbors would definitely complain. It's still too small to actively be monitored by NASA, as they only focus on objects over 140 meters. Alright, what if we go full football stadium size? Like the entire Cowboys stadium. Now we've got a legitimate problem. If this hits Earth, you're looking at city-destroying power, equivalent to over 500 Hiroshima-sized atomic bombs. We're talking millions dead, shockwaves that flatten everything for hundreds of miles, fires spreading like it's California in August. Absolutely catastrophic. But Earth is still fine. This would be like a really bad Tuesday for a planet like Jupiter. An asteroid hitting Earth would come around once every 10,000 years or so. Here's where things get properly apocalyptic. A mountain-sized asteroid. We're talking a full kilometer wide. The impact energy would be about 100,000 megatons. That's like if every nuclear weapon on Earth went off at once, except in one spot. Everything for hundreds of miles gets instantly vaporized. The shockwave circles the globe multiple times. Dust and debris block out the sun for years. Global temperatures plummet, and crops fail worldwide. Goodbye, civilization. It was nice knowing you. But Earth itself still survives. Now we get to an asteroid size that took out the dinosaurs. 10 kilometers wide, traveling at 20 kilometers per second. As this size of asteroid actually hit Earth, we know what would happen if it was to hit again. The asteroid that took out the dinos hit Earth in the Yucatan Peninsula in Mexico 66 million years ago. The impact was so violent, it literally created a magnitude 10 earthquake, which isn't even on the scale because it doesn't go that high. It caused tsunamis reaching the height of skyscrapers, and the entire atmosphere caught fire. 75% of all species were wiped out during the blast. And yet, the planet recovered. Life came back. Just, with significantly fewer T-Rexes. So what would actually destroy Earth? Like, properly obliterate it? You need to go absolutely bonkers with the size. We're talking 100 kilometers minimum, or even better, something the size of our actual moon. At this point, we're not even calling it an asteroid impact anymore. This is a straight up planetary collision. When this hits, the entire surface of Earth melts into a global ocean of lava. Earth either shatters into a billion pieces and becomes a new asteroid belt, or it turns into a molten hellscape that would take millions of years just to cool down enough to have a solid surface again. That is what it takes to actually kill Earth. The good news? NASA's got their eyes on the sky, and nothing remotely that big is headed our way anytime soon. They think. Like and subscribe to never miss another upload.